During the Greece versus Turkey soccer game recently, there was a moment of silence that was endorsed by the soccer organization behind the game. Okay, so according to the San Francisco Chronicle, the UEFA, Europe's governing soccer body, requested that all European international games hold a minute of silence before the start of their matches and wear black armbands. Now, that is the most common sense thing to do. Of course, you want to show solidarity with the victims in France. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you look at the next video, you'll see that not everyone in the audience was a fan of this moment of silence. Take a look. So there's controversy because the Turkish soccer fans were not silent. They were waving their flags and they were yelling. Some are saying that they were booing, although I couldn't really hear whether or not it was booing or if they were just being loud and obnoxious during a clear moment of silence to show respect and solidarity with victims. Now, whether or not they're booing, I don't care. What they did was disrespectful. What they did was disgusting, okay? And I don't know what else to say about that.
It's hard to say that they were booing. I don't watch a lot of soccer matches, let alone international soccer matches, but that sounds to me like what I imagine the stadium sounds like all the time.
Right. As your Turkish correspondent and the only Turkish person at the Young Turks, let me clarify what happened there. They were actually yelling, "Şehitler ölmez, vatan bölünmez."
Oh, obviously.
Which means martyrs don't die and the country never separates. And this is a common theme throughout our history because Turkey has always had terror attacks from terrorist groups like PKK, which are predominantly Kurds, but then also from ISIS, and especially until in recent times as well in Ankara, when there was an ISIS bombing where 100 people died and 400 people were injured. And that's like a saying that we have because we believe that people that die in terrorist attacks are also martyrs alongside our military that fights terror groups, right? So they weren't exactly booing. They weren't like booing the fact that Paris was bombed, and it wasn't a show of like being non-sympathetic. It was more
potentially solidarity, basically.
Yeah, but at the same time, but then again, it's a complex political issue because Turkey is predominantly Sunni, and so is ISIS. And ISIS has a common kind of enemy within Turkey. Like I said, it's complex, and this might sound a little insensitive, but the ISIS attacks Kurds, which Kurds usually have been known to attack within Turkish borders, right? So some of the very radical conservative Muslims in the crowd might genuinely be booing in support of ISIS. And I'm not going to rule that out. However, the coverage is a little biased from the Western media because they weren't yelling Allahu Akbar. They were genuinely yelling like, you know, martyrs don't die, or and the country doesn't.
To the extent that they were yelling Allahu Akbar, that doesn't. People in America seem to think if you say that, you are about to explode. But that's not what it, like you can say it in all sorts of circumstances.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Any Christian would yell out things like that in English. It doesn't mean that they're terrorists.
I don't care what they were saying. No, I do care what they were saying because if they were booing or if they were saying something disrespectful, it makes the situation even worse, okay? But I'm not having a conversation about the complex issues between Turkey and ISIS and the Kurds. No, you're at a soccer game, okay? They're having a moment of silence to show respect to the victims of this terrible, tragic terrorist
I agree. It
violence.
was inappropriate regardless.
It was inappropriate.
Well, I also read, though, that some people apparently were pissed because after the terrorist attacks in Istanbul, which I believe killed over 100 people.
In Ankara, yeah, exactly.
There was also one in Istanbul. But anyway,
there was.
They didn't have any moments of silence and things like that. So some people might feel like it's the West being so West-centric to say our victims matter more. And some people might have been pissed that they had suffered a terrible terrorist attack and there was no international solidarity.
Okay, that is a fair criticism, but there's a time and a place, right?
I agree. I'm not saying they're right.
And yeah, exactly. And so in this case, look, you look bad as Turkish soccer fans. You look terrible.
Yeah, I know, but Turkish soccer fans aren't exactly known for being tolerant, and also
soccer fans, period. Okay?
Yeah, and this is again a group of bad apples, kind of, because even the Turkish, like the technical director and everyone else on the Turkish team criticized heavily the fans. They criticized the fans. They were like, please don't do that. This is unacceptable. This is disrespectful. A lot of people in Turkey also criticized the fans. So don't think that this is like Turkish people
Yeah.
don't care about the tragedy in Paris.
No, I understand. Look, it would be unfair to say the least if you took these clowns in the audience and you
Yeah.
made them representatives of the entire Turkish
Yeah.
population. That is not an accurate assessment. However, what they did was wrong, and I'm glad that all of us are condemning their actions because it's just so incredibly disrespectful.
They're not representative of Turkey, but they are representative of soccer fans. They're hooligans, and I won't stand for it anymore.